Have you ever had one of those lazy days when you just don't feel like studying? You have a ton of work piling up, exams coming up, homework due, but you just can't get motivated to get out of bed and do what you need to do. Yeah, I've been there too. That's why today I'm going to tell you how to study when you don't feel like studying. I'm Terrell, and this is Absolutely Studying. I was there once too. I bootstrapped my way through university while juggling a full-time job and a family, and now I want to pay it forward by giving you everything you need to flourish in your academic career. If you are unmotivated and just don't want to crawl out of bed and study, watch this video for some great ideas that might get you motivated while being productive in the process. Let me know down in the comments if you have ever tried any of these, or if you have any other ideas of some activities that one might do when they just do not feel motivated to get out of bed and study or be productive. If you have trouble thinking of different study activities, you can also check down in the description. I have a great study planner with some tips. Let's get right to it. I get that stress is running high right now and motivation is low, and there are days that you just don't want to bother getting out of bed, you don't want to get dressed, you just want to lay around, hang out on social media, maybe watch some YouTube, and it just seems like the faster you try and move, the slower you go. So these are some study suggestions that are not for every day. It's not great to study while laying around in bed, but sometimes it is better to at least get a little bit done than nothing at all, because getting a little bit done might motivate you to get up and get a lot more done. So the very first thing I want you to try is pulling out some flashcards. Reviewing flashcards is great because it's one of those activities that you can do anywhere. You can do it on the bus, you can do it laying in bed. It's super simple. It's just laying around, quizzing yourself, and going through the deck. You can do this with paper flashcards or even digital ones on your tablet or your phone. They can be made anytime ahead and wherever you are when you're trying to get a quick 5 or 10 or 15-minute study session in, you can always whip them out and quiz yourself a little. I like to use them to locate or identify different parts of diagrams and charts. They're also great to use for vocabulary and comparison questions and any kind of thing like that. So if you're feeling super unproductive, lay around for a little bit, set a timer, quiz yourself for 10 or 15 minutes, maybe intermix it with a little bit of self-care or a YouTube video, and then get back to it. Once you start feeling yourself get a little bit more motivated, maybe you can get up and try and make some more at your desk. I have a great video of 10 different ways to use flashcards. I will link it in the description and in the card above, and you can check it out if you want some new and exciting ways that you can use your flashcards. Next up is try watching a documentary. A documentary is often a watered down version of the information you learn in class. It is diluted so that the average person can also really understand the mechanics at play, because often they're much more complicated than the layperson will understand. And in order to appeal to the masses, they kind of take a step back and explain it in simpler terms. This not only refreshes your memory, but it is also a great opportunity for learning. As you watch the documentary, try and pay attention and figure out which facts or concepts are kind of played down. How do they differ from what you've learned in class? Is it completely inaccurate, or is it just kind of watered down and explained in simpler terms? If you're watching the documentary with somebody else, this is a great opportunity to pause it and explain to that person the difference between what you know to be true and how they explained it in the documentary. It's a really great way to quiz yourself and elaborate on concepts that you know outside of making your own practice test or using the professor's material to test yourself. Even if you are watching the documentary alone, you can always pause it and just explain out loud to yourself why these concepts are different from what you've learned. Don't forget about creating new and exciting mental associations. Watching a documentary is one way, as well as explaining it to yourself out loud as well. I will link the video explaining why mental associations are important as well above and below. As you are watching the documentary, especially if you are at least a little bit upright, maybe take note of what concepts in the documentary you were really comfortable with. What concepts have you discovered by watching it that you can explain in great detail and elaborate on a lot? Keeping a confidence tracker of different concepts that you cover, especially the ones that you're weaker on, and updating it as you get more and more confident with them is a great way to mark your progress throughout the course. I do have a confidence tracker in the printable that I mentioned at the top of the video, as well as a template to make practice quizzes, which is another thing that you can do while watching this documentary. Next up is try video chatting with a friend. If you're feeling pretty down and unmotivated, I'm pretty sure you probably have a friend that is as well. So why not try chatting them up and making it a study date? If you guys are in the same class, you can quiz each other on the notes that you have. You might have a different perspective from them as to what you thought was important, and they might think the same. So you guys can always quiz each other, and you might focus on different aspects and learn some things. Alternatively, if you are not in the same class, or if they're not even a student, you can always email them your notes, or even take a picture and text it over, and then they can go through and ask you questions off of your own notes. This is another way to kind of get some social interaction, get some conversation with another human being, and also get some studying done. Having a friend quiz you is one of the best ways to get comfortable with the course material. To learn more about that, check out the link in the description. I really hope you found these suggestions helpful. If you did and your exam is still coming up, when you feel a little bit more motivated, check out our video that helps you make a comprehensive study guide for your next exam so that you can make up for some lost time and make sure that between now and your exam, everything gets covered. And let me know if you've tried any of these things. Have you ever laid around and hung out in bed and just did some flashcards? Did you ever watch a documentary for study purposes, or call up a friend and have a virtual study sesh while you just laze around in bed and feel good about being less motivated? As I said before, these study ideas are not for everyday use. It's not a great idea to study in bed because that's somewhere that you associate with hanging out and going to sleep, and you're not going to be at the top of your game, and it's not going to be the best quality of study time. But sometimes baby steps are better than no steps at all. Hopefully trying out some of these suggestions will get you at least a little bit motivated to move to your desk, or, you know, get up and start your day. If you are bored with your study sessions and you need some new activities to try out, try picking up our study planner in the description. It has more than 20 different study activities that you can try and track over the course of the semester so that you can make sure that each concept you study is fully fleshed out. It is packed with resources. There is a Q&A planner to plan out practice tests, the confidence tracker. There are even templates that will help you plan out each and every study session. Again, it's for free in the description. Go check it out and give it a download. Like this video and subscribe to this channel. I put out a new video every Thursday about homework help, study tips, or organizational hacks that will help you get through the study struggle. Visit our website for more useful resources, and thank you for watching this video. I want to make this journey as smooth as possible for you, so if you do have any questions, leave them in the comments or check out my socials below. And until next week, I hope you have an amazing adventure.